Just Nerds Back. We are talking with part 2 of our SAO discussion about the ALO Arc. And this is when the show got awful.
AOL? No, I'm kidding.
So, first off, the first season at least had the dilemma of when you die in the game, you die in real life. In this one, you're just playing a video game. And at the same time, Kirito takes it so seriously.
What was... Oh, it was to get Asuna back, right?
Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
Why did they do that? I don't know.
Okay, so let's talk
it
about...
just falls apart.
Let's talk about that. The main premise of the game is that everyone got out who survived. However, Asuna and other people as well did not wake up. And you find out the reason for this is that not the game creator, but one of the guys who's working on the game, as everyone was coming out of the game, he basically redirected them into the other game, which doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. And he's got some crazy infatuation with Asuna. Oh, God, I hated that.
They were betrothed.
I hated that.
That was... When you first see him, you're like, oh, obviously this guy's the villain. But then you see him sniff Asuna's hair, you're like...
Oh, that guy's
what?
messed up, man.
Yeah, everyone who watches that is like, what?
Johnny told me what Kirito did to him was excessive, burning his face and breaking his arm, whatever. I think it was perfect.
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. But that main premise is just.
I mean, okay, that guy creeped the crap out of me. All right, I've seen some creepy anime crap. That guy's on top 10. That guy just. I want to kill that guy.
I guess one positive from this is that the story had more focus. And that's true.
I'll say that. I mean, it had a goal. At least.
Yeah, it had a goal because the first one was it was scattered all over. But this one, even though it was more focused, the story wasn't as good.
And this one, they're just we gotta get there, and then it was 10 at the middle 10, the first episode they find out. It's oh, let's go. And then the 10, it's just him and his cousin finding out who they really are. And just ooh.
And I think Blake said this before we recorded.
I love you. We're
it
cousins.
Tries so hard to be serious. It tries so hard.
Okay, first of all, it tries so hard to be good. It's
That's true.
it's like love me. No, we're not gonna love you because
and the action. There was less action. That was the only thing that made the first part
even the action didn't look as good either.
Yeah, it was just there wasn't enough.
Totally agree.
And
that
there was just too much flying and talking.
The only time I remember the action is the final tower thing where they're fighting in that final tower. I don't even remember.
Even
what
that was
them.
It was talking, beating Kirito up, talking Kirito hacking the system, and then getting a giant sword.
It tries so serious, which you can see in the first part. But in this part, it tries way harder because there's one part where the cousin tells Kirito what just help Asuna, do your thing. Just say help Asuna, do your thing, do what you want to do. Why do you care? He's well, my experiences from SAO, I learned to be a better player or whatever. That doesn't make sense. He intentionally goes to help these game, what's it called?
What?
These conflicts in the game, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
These conflicts in the game instead of helping out real life conflicts with Asuna. Why?
I don't know. I didn't like the second half. I really, really didn't like
And then the villain was awful. Even worse than the first one.
Okay, so Kirito is supposed to be really good, and the villain's whole thing, was he was testing people's brains, and he was seriously messing those people up from what it sounds like. He was messing with their brains. So instead of he didn't even think about them because he didn't know about them. He went straight for Asuna, but he's supposed to be a really good hacker. Why didn't he stay on the outside and do some research and try hacking in and see what happened? Because he's supposed to. He hacks in the game from within. Why don't you just do that then? Instead of being I gotta climb this tower.
Or, FBI, CIA, anything, people? Come on.
Not the FBI.
Because I remember he was like, I gotta go in there. I'm like, no, there's people that are, way better than you, way more skilled than you. You are like an 18-year-old child.
Apparently not, Blake.
Yeah, no.
Apparently not.
Yeah, and the villain is awful because he's just all talk and he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything in the show.
I know,
he doesn't do anything.
I hate that show so much. I'm sorry. I hate that show.
And then the cousin falling in love with him because, he's not my brother, he's my cousin. It doesn't matter. You grew up with each other as brother and sister. That doesn't matter.
That is messed up.
That was awful. I don't know. But they're still related though.
Yeah.
They're still related, even though they're not brother and sister. They're still cousins.
That's my one problem in shows, in anime especially. It's no.
Yeah, when they do that,
it can't happen.
Yeah,
genetically bad.
And that character was just the cousin was just a bland and useless character, anyways. It was a forced love triangle that didn't need to be done at all. It doesn't make any sense.
I feel like there's some freaks out there like, oh, that was so amazing. No, it's stupid.
And then they break like the game even more because at the very end when Kirito fights, I forgot his name, doesn't matter, the villain, he basically logs into Kaiba's account.
The creator of the game.
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, log in, Kaiba, and he gets all his powers, like being an admin.
He controls the game pretty much.
He takes his sword, he lowers his what is it?
No, he raises the pain thing. Yeah. All the way to the top.
He can't just like log in, like say the creator's name. That is what?
I'm sorry, when did you get that?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was at the end of the first season. What is it?
Couldn't you just say Asuna, freedom, let's go?
You blah, 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 here, take it.
Yeah, and then all those scenes where the villain was messing with Asuna, that was just weird. Even more.
Ah, God, that's so jacked up. Why did they even put that in? That wasn't entertaining, that was disturbing. And I get that they're trying to make me hate the guy.
Yeah, but
they didn't make me hate the guy.
And like in that video I showed you, in that video I showed you again, Ryoga made a point where he said that even if you have a dislikable villain, you still make them interesting and like make them interesting so you can care about them, even if you don't like them.
Care about them in a bad way, like really hope this guy dies. See, I cared about that, but not in a good way. Like I want him to die just because he was just really
like crazy. An example with Darth Vader. Like all the stuff he does is unlikable to the main cast, but he's still an interesting villain.
Yeah.
This guy, like Ryoga said, you could just basically put a paper on the screen and say, this guy is bad. Don't like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
And this is a TV show. You're supposed to develop your villains, you know what I mean?
Not just develop the characters in general, which they didn't really do.
They didn't do that.
Like, they did Kirito a bit from his experiences in SAO, but that was still dumb development.
I mean, you guys must be looking at something I don't know, because I didn't see Kirito change at all. Like, I saw him get a little happier with the Suna, but that's it.
What it was, this is the reason why she fell in love with him, the cousin. It was like, when he came out of the game, she was like, he was a lot nicer. I would be a lot nicer if I didn't see family for a year.
Yeah, the cousin, like, I thought, you're being so nice to me that you're giving me a chance. Well, he just realized that family is important after going through this whole life, this dramatic experience. So obviously he's gonna be nice to his family. But no, she took it as, oh, he loves me.
He wasn't even that nice. He was in the game for 12 hours a day. Didn't even see
How long were they in there? 3 years or something like that?
Yeah, like 2 to 3 years.
3?
Yeah, he was
freaking years.
He was
How do you even do that?
Well, like, you see Kirito's all skinny in the first part, but all of a sudden looks perfect for some reason.
I know, right? What the heck?
But their explanation, I like their explanation. She's in a top medical care facility or whatever. But she looks fine.
Pumping her full of drugs for 3 years.
It's like when she's finally out, it's like, how's your physical therapy going? Good, I can almost walk without the cane. You look fine.
And then they brought Yui back as a fairy.
It's like, what's that fairy from Legend of Zelda that keeps bugging you?
It's more annoying than that.
Yeah, worse. 10 times worse than that. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. So
I don't understand that. So he took, like, her central processing thing, whatever, like, the thing that made her, like, her program. And
brought her into the game.
Yeah, because the old world broke or whatever.
Yeah. And I'm a little...
It's broken. I'm a
little confused on this. Like, I forget if when Kirito went to the game, his stats went all the way to 0.
No, he got him back.
In the beginning?
Didn't he get, like, his jacket back or something like that? Like, he got something completely...
No, I'm saying...
I think he only got his sword fighting ability back. Like, he got everything, but he couldn't fly at all. Like, he got all his, like, fighting skills back.
So you're saying his stats were the same as the game?
Pretty much.
Okay, well, even if that's the case, they mentioned that there's no... Like, in SAO, they would guide your sword through the sword skills. And this one is just you using the sword. Kirito's still overpowered. He beats the strongest character in the game. Even though he barely started a day ago.
In the beginning, to be honest, I don't know if he got his stats back, but I'm assuming though, because in the beginning, when he first gets there, he takes on 2 guys that his cousin wasn't able to take down.
Yeah, but then he even takes on the strongest player. Yeah. With the best armor.
He
with
steals
the best
his
equipment.
sword. And
they admit Kirito's equipment is not very good. They admit that. It's not very good.
Well, his character's terrible. His character's meant for, like, speed and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. and then they broke the game again with like his stuff was illusion magic, but when he turns that big monster, remember that he could still eat the players even though he wasn't the monster. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
What?
And shouldn't the players know that that's illusion magic? Like,
No, that's what he said. He's like, oh no, it's just an illusion. It's just longer reach. But then he grabs them in the air and eats them. Like,
no,
well,
but shouldn't
apparently
just be
not.
like he's just using an illusion. Let's just wait it out.
Well, whatever.
I'm sorry, but okay. First of all, I've been thinking about the ending. I despise that ending because it ruins all sense. Okay, so you just got out of the most horrific experiences with video games in your life, and what do? Well, let's go explore a dungeon.
Yeah.
What the? Why?
Oh, you got to that part.
Yeah, no, because I watched the very end when they're like, let's go back and have some more fun. I'm like, you just went.
Yeah, they want to go see a whale.
Especially Asuna with her stuff that happened. She still goes back.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, are you people stupid?
No, first,
why are you doing this?
See,
No.
They were gonna shut down the whole thing, and like I understand, like, oh, let's make some more video games. But instead of just making like different video games, different storylines, he remakes the video game. Millions of people were trapped.
After like thousands of people died in the first game. After the incident happened in the second game, people still do the virtual reality.
Why?
I don't know. And then
I'm not giving up on it.
Oculus
and then
Rift.
I remember
Bad idea.
I remember the cousin. She was like, I wanted to experience the world Kirito fell in love with. Your brother's trapped in this video game. Why would you go in the virtual world?
No, but
No.
no. I'm saying.
No, shut up. No justifying it.
I'm saying Kirito. Why would he remake Incred? Wasn't like his.
No, he didn't remake it. They just brought it back.
Okay, but he was the one who planted the seed and allowed everyone to make their own game. Those are some of his worst memories, I assume. Watching people die,
Yeah,
building
exactly.
relationships. Why would he go back? And then he went and anchored. He's like, I want to redo the whole thing. Take up my stats up.
All right, I'm tired of talking about this. Shall we end this, please?
Yeah, well, I just want to point out like something about the author. The guy who writes SAO. He writes SAO. Then he also has a spin-off series called Axel World, which is a lot better than SAO, but. That's
it's a lot different. I watched the first episode. It's a lot different.
Yeah, and it's a lot better too. But from that series and the second series, the author writes around 8 volumes a year, right? However, a usual author in Japan who writes those kind of novels, they usually bring out like 1 or 2 a year, and usually just focus on one series. He brings out 8 while focusing on 2. And he said he doesn't really think about like the plot or the characters. He just writes. Like he just writes, what comes to mind and puts it down. And that explains a lot when you think about it.
It does. It really does.
Especially in the first part where things are just happening.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly, he just keeps writing. He doesn't really think about what to write. You think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I what happened? Like, why did I honestly don't understand what the heck happened? Like. It confuses me. It confuses me that
because he started it when he was like 16 and all that stuff.
I look at this show and I literally just say like that's a waste of an idea. Like that's a great concept and it had so much potential.
Yeah, which
the drain.
Has been done better in other shows like Log Horizon.
I'm sure it has. I mean, like
the only thing that keeps this show like to watch is the animation and the action. But even though that's worse in the second part.
Yeah.
So just watch Log Horizon, guys. It's way better. Just watch it.
But it speaks a lot about this society. We don't care about the quality. We care about what it looks like. And that's why Sword Art Online is so popular.
Okay, honestly, no, straight up, the visuals and music aside, this show is crap. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
But
like,
I
don't think it's
good. Like that and Attack on Titan are probably like the most popular anime right now.
Yeah, but so just watch Log Horizon. Has better characters, better world building, a better setting, better everything. Obviously except the animation and music, but watch it. Watch that instead of SAO.
Don't watch SAO. Don't waste your time on Netflix. Watch something else. Anything.
If you want to watch that video we were talking about, I'll post it down in the comments below. Or not in the comments, the link. The description.
The video about
this show, talking about the show is messing up my head.
Completely thrashes.
Yeah.
SAO.
He even has one about SAO too, and he talks about what I just said about the author just writing. So I'll put those 2 videos in the description and watch those instead of the show. So yeah, that's it. We had, I guess, fun just destroying the show.
Speak for yourself.
Next time we'll talk about why Attack on Titan is overrated. Bye.